Have you ever thought about what will happen when you're gone? Not physically, but digitally. Your photos, your posts, your messages, all scattered across the internet like footprints in wet sand. And one day they'll fade. The thought alone is haunting, not because of death, but because of something even deeper, the fear of being forgotten. It's an ancient fear, older than the internet, older than civilization itself. And yet, in our hyper-connected digital age, it feels stronger than ever. Why is that? Why, in a world where everything is saved, do we still feel like we're disappearing? Let's explore the psychology and the truth behind this quiet, universal fear. From the earliest civilizations, humans built monuments, wrote stories, carved names into stone, all for one reason: to be remembered. To our ancestors, memory was survival. If your name was remembered, you lived on. If it wasn't, you vanished completely. The Egyptian pharaohs built pyramids not out of vanity, but out of fear, the fear that time would erase them. The Greeks told myths of heroes, so their deeds would echo forever. Even the earliest cave paintings were humanity's first attempt to whisper across generations. We were here. Psychologically, this instinct is tied to something called symbolic immortality, the belief that through our creations, our stories, or our impact, some part of us continues after death. It's not just ego, it's survival of meaning. To be remembered is to exist beyond biology. But today, our monuments aren't built of stone. They're built of data. We live in a time where no generation before us has been more documented. Every text, photo, and voice note is preserved somewhere, on servers, in clouds, in archives that may outlive us. We should feel immortal, but strangely we don't. Why? Because now, being seen doesn't guarantee being remembered. Our online world is flooded with billions of voices, each shouting to be noticed. But in that crowd, individual memories dissolve faster than ever. Yesterday's viral moment is today's forgotten post. The digital age promised connection, but delivered comparison. We measure our worth through likes, followers, and algorithms that decide if we're visible or invisible. And when no one reacts, when no one sees, we feel forgotten even while still alive. It's a new kind of loneliness, digital invisibility. This is the modern paradox. We exist everywhere and nowhere. Deep down, our fear of being forgotten is rooted in our fear of death. Psychologists call this terror management theory, the idea that humans create culture, religion, art, and identity to defend against the terror of knowing life is temporary. So we chase legacies, children, achievements, followers, all as armor against oblivion. In ancient times, that meant leaving your name in history. Today, it means leaving your profile online. Every post we share, every picture we upload, it's a digital echo. A message to the future saying, I existed. But here's the problem. Our digital legacy is fragile. Accounts get deleted. Platforms disappear. The photos we thought would last forever vanish when technology moves on. So even our modern immortality, our data, is mortal. And that realization brings the same fear back to life. We no longer need gods to judge our worth. We have algorithms. They decide what's seen and what's forgotten. They decide who trends, who fades, who exists in the collective digital memory. And that's why so many people now tie their self-worth to metrics, views, likes, shares. We equate attention with remembrance. We think that if enough people see us, we won't disappear. But attention isn't memory. Attention is momentary. It burns bright, then vanishes. So we post again and again, trying to keep the fire alive. It becomes a loop. The need to be seen, validated, remembered. It's not vanity. It's survival in a system that equates visibility with existence. But what happens when the algorithm forgets us? When the world scrolls past? That's when the ancient fear whispers again. You're fading. There's a quiet, eerie phenomenon happening right now. Millions of people on social media who have passed away, but their profiles remain active. These are the digital ghosts of our era. Frozen timelines of birthdays, smiles, posts, still there, even though the person isn't. Friends leave comments on their walls. Miss you. Happy birthday in heaven. The page becomes a shrine, a virtual tombstone. This raises profound questions. When we die, who owns our memory? Who decides what's deleted or kept? And when does remembrance turn into haunting? We've created a world where memory never fully dies, but it's not clear whether that's comforting or tragic. Let's pause here and ask a deeper question. What does being remembered actually mean? Is it about how many people know your name, or how deeply you've touched a few lives? Philosophers like Ernest Becker and Soren Kierkegaard argued that true immortality isn't in fame, but in meaning, in the emotional imprints we leave behind. If you made someone feel seen, loved, or inspired, that's legacy. If you raise a child who remembers your kindness, that's remembrance. You don't need the internet to stay alive in someone's heart, because memory isn't about permanence. It's about resonance. It's about the way your life echoes in someone else's soul. In our fast-paced digital world, we don't just fear death, we fear irrelevance. Everything updates, refreshes, trends, and fades. Even fame has an expiration date. That's why people feel an urge to keep reinventing themselves online, to stay current, to stay remembered. But this endless chase often leads to burnout, depression, and existential fatigue. Because no matter how many views we get, the internet forgets fast. And deep down, we know it. The truth is, we've built a system that rewards presence, not meaning. But it's meaning that gives memory its weight. So how do we face this fear? Realistically, not romantically, by focusing less on being remembered by everyone and more on being known by someone. Instead of chasing digital immortality, we can build emotional legacy through empathy, creativity, and authenticity. When we stop performing and start connecting, we find peace. You don't need the entire internet to remember you. You just need to have mattered to someone genuinely. In the end, meaning is stronger than memory, and love lasts longer than data. Here's the real secret. The fear of being forgotten only controls those who haven't truly lived. When you live authentically, when you create, when you care, you stop worrying about the afterimage. You realize that remembrance is not your responsibility. It's a side effect of a life well lived. Every laugh you share, every lesson you pass, every person you help, those are your digital fingerprints on the soul of humanity. And that's what truly lasts. Maybe being forgotten isn't a tragedy. Maybe it's a reminder that everything, even memory, has its time. Because what matters most isn't that people remember your name, but that while you were here, you truly were. So stop trying to be eternal. Be present. That's how you beat the fear of being forgotten, by living a life worth remembering.